What's going on, all you fragrance heads? In today's video, we are going to take a look at the Bvlgari's Aqva lineup. So in the Bvlgari's Aqva lineup, I only actually have 3, I think, out of the 5 that they made throughout the years. And these 3, I kind of really dig all these 3, but they all serve a different time and place of when to wear them. Even though they're all from the same lineup, they all smell a little bit different. So what the first one we're going to talk about is Bvlgari's Aqva Marine. So Bvlgari's Aqva Marine came out in about 2008, which probably is the oldest in the lineup that I have. I know the original Aqva probably came out way before that, I believe in 2004. So the 2008, this one's it's a pretty old one, but it still stands up pretty well in my fragrance lineup that I have. So with this one here, even though it's classified as I would say an aquatic, I hate the word aquatic. The word aquatic to me means it's just very watered down, clean, linear, and it's just very scentless because it's aquatic, meaning watery. This one is not an aquatic. This one is oceanic, or it smells like the ocean. So the notes that you're gonna get with this one, it's definitely gonna be oceanic. It's gonna be watery in a sense of it is kind of watered down, it's pretty tame, and it's very transparent smelling, meaning it's not as strong and potent. It's a very light scent that you could easily just spray liberally like 10 times on you and it's never gonna choke out anybody. So it's very light and aquatic in that sense. But I consider this to be oceanic because it smells like the ocean to me. So what I mean by smells like the ocean, it's got this very kind of seaweed, kind of sea brine kind of thing going on. And you only are gonna pick that up when you're out by the ocean. That's when you pick up these salty seaweed kind of things. So the main notes that I get out of this, definitely it's gonna be that typical aquatic watered down scent. Then you're gonna get that seaweed, sea brine, oceanic kind of note, and then it's got some grapefruit in the top that makes it very bright. But overall, it's probably a scent that I wouldn't wear all the time. It's definitely a summertime only scent. It's definitely only a summertime daytime scent. And it's probably something I would only wear if I'm gonna be outside in the high heat. It's not really good for indoors, although it's safe, but it really shines when it's outdoor in the high heat. So if I were to kind of rank this based on, the scent profile, projection, longevity, and how versatile it is. So for scent, I would say 1 out of 10, 10 being the best. I would give this a 6. It's a pretty darn good scent. It's unique because you don't get that many typical oceanic notes that have that seaweed briny kind of thing. So it's got that unique factor there if that's kind of your thing. So now as far as projection, this is pretty much a skin scent for me. You can spray this on liberally. I would say probably really heavy. You can bathe yourself in this, so it really won't make that much of a difference. Longevity, I would say it fares probably average for a typical freshie aquatic. You'll get about maybe 3, maybe 4 hours if you're really outside in the high heat with this. So longevity is average to below average. But then for versatility, I would rank it pretty low. It's not very versatile because, again, you can really only wear this out in the summertime in the high heat when you're outdoors, so it's not a very versatile frag. You're definitely not gonna wanna wear this when you're out at the clubs or the bars. And it doesn't necessarily garner that many compliments because it's a very basic, clean, oceanic fragrance. So as far as scent, I would say it rates 6 out of 10. Projection is probably, since it's a low projector, 3 out of 10. Longevity, again, it's below average, so maybe 4 out of 10. And then versatility, because it's not that versatile, I would say it's a 3 out of 10. So the next one that we're gonna look at is the Bvlgari's Aqva Amara. Now this one's a great one. This one came out in 2014, so we're gonna flash forward about 6 years from when they came out with the Marine one. And this is actually very popular in the fragrance community, and it's pretty well versatile. It doesn't smell anything like the Aqua Marine that I just looked at. This is vastly different. So the notes that I pick out the most from this, neroli, or sometimes called orange blossom, but it's more of a neroli. You're gonna get this very kind of citrusy tangerine note. It's very bitter. It's very bitter and zesty. And then as it dries down, you're gonna get into some smoky incense, which is more of a clean incense. It's not really that smoky or dirty. It's a nice clean incense. So the overall odor profile for this, when I wear it, it almost reminds me of a very kind of like a Sicilian or an Italian kind of scent. It's very bitter, zesty, with that orange and neroli and the incense. It's definitely a masculine scent. So if I were to rate this one here, as far as scent, projection, longevity, and versatility, I would say scent for this is definitely an 8 out of 10. This one right here just smells great. While yes, it does play in that neroli kind of mandarin orange vibe that a lot of fragrances do, this one is a little bit different. It's a little bit more brighter, a little bit zestier, and it has that incense in there that kind of mans it up just a hair. Now, as far as projection, it's a beast. It's a beast for sure. I would say I would rank it 7 out of 10. When you spray just 2 sprays on this thing is radiating off you pretty heavily for the first couple hours. It's a beast scent for a typical summertime fragrance that it is. Now, as far as longevity, this thing lasts a long time. I would rank this 8 out of 10. When I wear this, especially in the summertime, I'll get 8-10 hours plus on this, especially if I'm spraying it on my clothes and it really sticks to your clothes. You'll wake up the next day and still smell this on your clothes. So now, as far as versatility, I would rank this 7 out of 10. This is a little bit more versatile, mostly because it is that kind of zesty mandarin, bright orange, neroli thing going on that you can definitely wear in spring and summer. But once you get into that incense territory and it kind of smokes it up and dirties it up a bit, then you could actually pull this off in the fall as well. I wouldn't necessarily wear this in the winter time, but I'm not saying you can't, but I probably wouldn't reach for this in the winter. But spring, summer, and fall, definite yes. So as far as versatility, 7 out of 10, no brainer. And then the last Bvlgari Aqva I have in my collection I'll show you guys is the Bvlgari Aqva Atlantiqve. Now, just disregard this little white crustiness here. When I received this bottle, it was actually leaking where the cap and the bottle were put together. So I just kind of used some homemade plumber's caulk that people use in the kitchen and bath and kind of sealed it up so it didn't leak anymore. So anyways, now this one came out in 2017. So this one's 3 years after Aqva Amara. And this is more the new release that I have of the Bvlgari's Aqva lineup. Now this one is totally different than the other two I just showed you. This one is a different take because it's a much sweeter scent. While it's still kind of light refreshing, it takes it more of a sugary sweeter vibe approach to this one that's vastly different than the other two. So the notes that I particularly get in this definitely get a ton of ambergris or ambergris. You get that sea kind of oceanic vibe in this, but it's toned down so much. I wouldn't even call it oceanic because it's not very briny or seaweed, but it is this kind of sea breeziness in there. In the very far base notes, you're also going to get some benzoin, which is more of a very sweet, resinous kind of scent to it. And overall, when you combine the ambergris with the sea and the benzoin, it really makes this pop as a sweet scent. And when I mean by sweet, when I smell this on my skin, the first thing that comes to mind is in my childhood when we had rock candy, which is like these little candies on a stick, and they look like this mineralized, sugar basically, and you would just eat it or suck on it like a lollipop, and it smelled like rock candy. It smelled like sugar. It smelled like cotton candy or gummy worms, gummy bears. It was just intensely candied and sweet, and I get a ton of that from this. So that makes it a pretty sweet fragrance as far as a more summertime freshie. So that makes it quite different, and it kind of appeals to me because I like a sweet fragrance. So now if I were to rank some of these based on scent profile, projection, longevity, and versatility, scent profile for me, I would rank this probably 7 out of 10 because it's really unique for a typical aquatic fragrance. Usually aquatics don't go into the sweet territory. This one does, and I kind of dig that for being that different. Now, projection, this one's pretty beastly as well, at least if you wear it in the summertime heat. I would rank this probably 6 out of 10, so it's above average. Most summertime freshies really don't project. This one does. This one projects pretty well, especially for the first hour, but it's a sweet projection. Longevity is where this thing shines. I would rank it 8 out of 10. This thing, kind of like the Aqva Amara, this thing lasts a long time. You spray it on your skin, you'll get 8, 10 plus hours, especially if you put it on your clothes. It's gonna linger on there till the next day. And then as far as versatility, I would rank this probably 7 out of 10. It's probably not as versatile as the other ones, but because it is a sweet fragrance, you can pull this off in the spring and fall time, but it really shines in the winter time. But that's not to say you probably couldn't rock this in the spring and fall. Definitely not a winter scent though. It's a little bit too bright, a little bit too clean for winter. So that's it. So that was my 3 Bvlgari Aqva fragrances that I have from their line. I know they came out with some other ones after the fact. I believe they had Bvlgari Aqva Tonic. They had, of course, the original Aqva, which I never had those two, so I can't compare. These are just the 3 that I own. So I thought I'd share my experiences with you if you're considering purchasing these or want to add them to your fragrance collection. As always, if you do own them and if you pick out some different notes or if you disagree with the kind of vibe that I'm putting off with these, leave a comment below and let everyone else know what you think. With that being said, until next time.